Kaizer Chiefs 3, Stellenbosch 1. Can I just say, Kaizer Chiefs benefited. But on top of Kaizer Chiefs benefiting, Stellenbosch also benefited because Ismaila Torre handled the ball inside the box. He was not booked for that penalty. And then after that, he retaliated and pushed to Sereno in the face. He was not given a red card. That was supposed to be a straight red on its own, but even if it wasn't a straight red on its own, the yellow card for handling the ball, which led to a penalty, and then on top of that, the yellow card for doing the things that he did to Sereno, that would have gotten him sent off. Dupri was in a box. The player put his hand on his face. What happened? The referee said nothing. So Kaizer Chiefs could have already been playing with a Stellenbosch with 9 players, and they would have been 2-0 by the time Stellenbosch even scored their first goal. So yes, Kaizer Chiefs benefited, but Stellenbosch also benefited. So now let's talk about the game. Hello and welcome to Khosi Nation Fan TV. I am Bilo, I am your host, and this is where fans meet and talk about Kaizer Chiefs. Khosi Football Club. Let's start with the starting 11. It was just something crazy because no one expected him to go that mad. Like, the man just decided, you know what, I'm going to change this midfield. Ne? And he did. He just started to play as a single pivot, but sometimes Ungcobo showed his versatility today because he was also dropping into midfield to play alongside Thabo Cele, but at times he was a second 8 alongside Gaston Sereno. But there was just one issue with that system in that midfield, because when it comes to Sereno no Modi, you'll notice Modi only shines after Sereno goes off, or Sereno really plays to his best potential if Modi is not there. Why is this? Because usually Sereno plays as a 10, but he then drifts to the left wing, and then that's where Modi usually operates. And now there's usually that slight clash in terms of how they want to play that. But I think the coach needs to work on how he can fit all the best players in his mind, but at the same time not have clashes, because clearly Umodi and Sereno, they want to occupy the same areas in the pitch. That is why you then see Umodi ghosting in the games where Sereno is playing because of that. We're still going to do analysis on the card pack with Umpilo, and then we'll go into more details. Right now, I'm just touching all over. And the other thing, obviously, Udotli was also not available for today's game, so I'm guessing that knock or that uncomfortable feeling that he had on that other day when we were playing Amakesi was actually a serious one. So I hope that Udotli does recover. But back to the coach. Made a brilliant decision to decide that he's going to play like this. But then Stellenbosch figured this out second half, because they then came back and then they just controlled the game second half. And that's why he then brought in Umart. And I know some of you, even through remotes somewhere, you were Maraba starting, you were just cursing at the TV, why is Nabi doing this? But you saw that at that point, we were overrun in midfield, and we needed someone who's going to help and add the legs. And unfortunately, you look at everyone else who was available on that bench, you are thinking, I want to read everyone who was on the bench at the time. Because on the bench at the time, there was Ukros, there was Solomons, there was Umatlo, there was Umart. And really, the people who could come in and try to stabilize midfield, it would be either bring on Umatlo for more control in midfield, or bring on Umart, because he's the one who's going to come in and then actually try help us defensively, because we had ball players at that time, but Stellenbosch were overrunning us, which is clearly a thing that we did not need another ball player to help us keep the ball, because we couldn't even get the ball in the first place. So then that's why he brought on Umart, because profile-wise, it would make sense to bring him on. But I still know people will say, Mpilo, it's because he's your favorite. But we're being overrun. Anyways, we'll continue with the game because, yeah, you haven't subscribed. Yeah, I just remembered. Why have you not subscribed? Please subscribe. And if you haven't liked the video as well, please. There. Thank you. Anyways, let's move on to the coach as well and what he did. There are some players who are just ghosting in this game, unfortunately. Ulilepo, I don't know whether it's because I will watch the game back and see whether Ulilepo is being targeted now, because in today's game, he wasn't like as effective as you want him to be. But but he still had a decent-ish game. He had an average game. He had his moments. And players like Abolilep, one thing that I keep on saying to people is sometimes if you have a good player like Ulilep, sometimes it's not really going to give you 90 minutes of extremely being good the whole time, but he needs moments to perform. And I feel like once again, it's another combination that must be worked on. When you play Ulilepo, no, Frosler, it seems like it doesn't work as well as you want it to be, because what ends up happening, Frosler cuts into the half space, Ulilepo, they give him the line. But then if he's given that line and there isn't someone to support him play, it becomes a problem. Because what I saw when he played with Solomons in the midweek game against Marcus, Solomons takes the line, Lepo cuts in. And then Solomons will take the winger because he's running, or the left back because he's trying to make those runs out wide. And then Uli Lepo can then be able to drift in field because he is carrying the ball that way. But if he's like staying on the touchline, sometimes it's difficult for him to play. So I think that is another combo that must be fixed, because obviously it's not working as great as it should be. Which also brings us to another thing that does not work. I wrote here on the notes, focus, or that focuses. What did I even write? I wrote "we benefited" and the notes and everything that's there. But one thing that I wrote is, where is this thing? Vuma going long. Vuma kicks. Let me show you. See there? Vuma kicks. Vuma kicks. Vuma kicks. I even wrote stupid. But it was those moments where Vuma kicks the ball. I was not saying he's stupid. I was saying his actions were stupid, because you find a position whereby you can pass the ball here. You don't do it. You kick it long. And Stellenbosch were overrunning us. That's why they came back in the game to begin with. That's why we ended up having to get that VAR goal in the end, because we allowed Stellenbosch to play. And when we got the ball, we then went long. But the problem is, if you are scared that, hey, we're going to play the ball short, they're going to recover it. But if you play it long, who is your striker? Ashley Dupree. He is short. So if you are playing a ball long while Dupree is your striker against Ishmael Torre, who's taller than him, who do you think is winning the ball there? It's obviously going to be the tall guy. So why are you constantly kicking the ball long to Dupree, who is short? Honestly, that makes no sense. Especially even in the first half, when you had Aboqele showing for the ball. And it's usually we blame Mart and say, oh, the team is going long because Mart is not showing for the ball. Ungobo was there showing for the ball. Tele was there showing for the ball. Abo Sereno were dropping to collect the ball. But no, Mvuma wants to go long. Sereno is very small. Dupree is also very small. So how are you expecting them to win the headers? And this is not me being negative. This is me realizing that, hey, we're in the semi-finals. And now we're likely going to face Pirates and Sundowns. The chances of us playing Pirates or Sundowns are now 33% for each team, because now there are 3 other teams that are possible. Like before, it was like a long shot, 1/8. That's a much smaller percentage. Now it's 1 out of 3. So basically, it's just 67% chances that we play one of the big teams. And if we play one of the big teams, we've already realized that Abo Ripero, they don't need 10 chances. They need 1 chance to kill you. Abo Ripero, they will eat you alive. So Pirates, I even feel like we have a better chance playing Pirates. But me personally, if you ask me, who would I rather have in the semi-finals? Right now, I would rather have Sundowns. I'm telling you now. So that they end me early. If Sundowns finishes me in the semi-finals, then it's better than Sundowns finishing me in the finals. I don't mind Pirates in the finals, because when you're playing a Soweto derby, it's about who shows up on the day. So if we know that we need this thing, we haven't won anything in 10 years, in 9 years, then we show up on the final. But if I have Sundowns has this ability to just whoop you and humble you. So I'm scared of Sundowns, but I would rather have them now rather than go to the finals and lose to Sundowns. So please give me Sundowns now so that I can deal with them. Also, they look like they are fatigued these days. So I know go to the semifinals will be like 2-3 weeks from now. So there's that, or 4 even, because they take their time when they do these things. But all in all, the drama at the end of the game ended up making things, or how can I say, a bit like, oh, we won, but we benefited. But as I said at the beginning of the video, Stellenbosch also benefited. Sundowns have benefited. Pirates have benefited. Maybe now it was also our time to benefit, because I can go back to the game of Marcus. I can go back to the game of Sundowns. I can go back to the game before that. Over and over again, we are getting screwed over by our referee. So maybe Nazi, we were long overdue. But in finalizing this video, I want to say this. Kaizer Chiefs won. The coach was brave in his decisions in how he selected his team. And on top of that, the players were given the opportunities, showed that they can have something to give to this team. Umshini came on and he showed that I can give this team something. Usirino in that midfield as well, he was there giving us something. Not the greatest of the performances, but they were giving us something. I saw Umshini in our own box. I'm like, is this you going back to your own box to defend? I was very impressed, because this tells me that the mentality of I'm a star player, or I'm a number 10, or I create goals, what position, why would I have to go back and defend? No. He's like, no, my job is to assist when we're going forward, but my job is to also help when we're defending. That's the mentality I want. And if every other player will start having that mentality, especially under this coach, Nabi, Chiefs are going to go far. Because you see, even Udove right now, he comes back from an injury. He's taken that left back position. He could have been easily the man of the match as well if it wasn't for Otel. He could have been a man of the match, right? He's there. He's giving his all. Can we talk about giving him Simang? Because I know most people will just ignore that part, because they know that Udotle will come back and take his position. But it's that whole thing again. Players being given opportunities and taking them. Msimango had a clean game. The only time he committed a foul was taking one for the team, which is also good. I have Adlali who just give up. So I am very impressed by every player who was given an opportunity. I'm impressed by Msimang. I'm impressed by Udove continuing his form. I'm impressed by Khosi coming in and playing. I'm impressed even by Umodi, like not giving up. Yes, Benefitile, whatever. But he still scored a goal, a very important goal for us. And Ufundo also coming on, putting pressure on Ujabar and taking the ball and scoring into an empty net. All of those things impress me, because I see effort in the team. I see mentality. And if we're like this in the quarterfinals, how much better are we going to be in the semifinals? I said the score is going to be 3-1, and the score was 3-1. I'm good. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you thought about the game, and I will see you on the next one. Khosi. Until next time, Khosi. Alpelumoya.